I've recently come to a scene in my book that I can't quite figure out. I've written and rewritten this scene multiple times, but I'm still not happy with it. I've gone back to previous chapters to see if I can find the problem, and I've also tried writing ahead, but after weeks of working on this, I've totally lost motivation altogether. I decided to give myself a little bit of a grace period and take a break while I moved from Japan back to my hometown in the United States. The process of moving countries is obviously very difficult, and I'm dealing with some health issues on top of that, so writing has been really not on my mind recently. Since the end of March, I've probably opened my document like 2 times, and both times I've shut it and did something else. I'm too stressed out to try to figure it out anymore. The longer that I stay away from writing, the more difficult it is to get back into it. But I love this story and I started writing it for a reason, so I'm gonna see it finished one way or another. We've all experienced writer's block before and we're all gonna experience it again, but there are some things that we can do to move the process along. A good starting point is to target the cause of your writer's block. Maybe you lost motivation because you got bored of your story, or maybe you just had a kid, or you started a new job, so now you have no time and thinking about writing your story gets you even more stressed out. Maybe you're like me and you've come to a problem in your story that you just can't seem to solve. Today I'm going to share with you a list of things that I do to get through my writer's block, so hopefully it can help you a little bit too. I've organized this list into 3 different chapters, so let's get right into chapter 1. Relax. Sometimes all it takes is a break. You've been working hard, so just give yourself some grace. I like to think of the creative process like a wheel. So you'll have moments of high energy and high motivation and powerful inspiration. And then you'll have moments of low energy and the need for recuperation. Everything in life needs a balance, so sometimes you just have to get away from the story mentally and physically. Here are a few things that you can do to relax. Number 1, get up and stretch. It's very easy to do to just get up while you're writing, stretch your knees, stretch your hands. Make sure you stretch your elbows too and your wrists, of course. That's always really important and a very healthy habit to do in general when you're writing, even if you're not in writer's block. Getting up and walking around the house, moving your shoulders, that's good. Number 2, try an active hobby. I really love going on walks. Sometimes it's easy just to go around the neighborhood, but I also love hiking. I also recently started rock climbing, so that's really fun. If you have a pool or live near a lake or creek, you can go swimming. If you want something low impact, you can do yoga or do some stretching. Just do something to get your body physically away from the story, because sometimes that alone can just reset the systems. Number 3 is to try a creative hobby. Getting your body moving is very important, but it's just as important to keep your brain active as well. When I write, I tend to miss making something physical with my hands, so if I'm gonna be doing a different creative hobby, I'd like to make something physical, like doing a painting. I like making YouTube videos, I like animating and drawing, I like building things with clay, and I really want to try claymation, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I also love doll making. I actually have these dolls, these doll bodies, and I got these, they're falling out, these doll heads as well, but I did it wrong because the heads that I got are a different size. They don't fit on the bodies. So I was gonna and I also have the hair. I was gonna put the hair into the head and then put the head into the body, but I just haven't done that yet. So that's still something I'd really like to do. Maybe you like to crochet, maybe you've been into making clothes or doing embroidery or cooking. That way you can eat it, and baking, that would be super cool. Yeah, just try a different hobby and keep your mind going. Sorry for all the birds, by the way. There's a tree right outside my house and I love the tree, but they're so loud when I'm trying to film. So number 4 is to spend time with friends. Play D&D, go roller skating or to an amusement park, go to a restaurant, whatever you like to do. Really, anything on the relax list you can do by yourself or with a friend. So it's really just up to you what relaxes you the most. And the last thing in chapter 1 is number 5, journal. Write down your thoughts without restraint. Write about anything. Write about your book if you want to. Write about your life. It doesn't matter. See what comes out when you know nobody's going to read it. Just see what happens. You'll figure out what works for you. Let's move on to chapter 2, inspiration. Let's say you have all the motivation in the world. You're ready to write, you're at your desk, you got the Word document pulled up, you got a big smile on your face, and nothing. We've all been there. The mind is completely blank, no thoughts. This happens to me sometimes when I'm just starting a new chapter or when I'm going to edit a chapter that I don't really like. As for my current situation, I'm simply not excited about my story right now, which leads me to unenthusiastic writing and a lack of inspiration. So this chapter is all about getting your ideas floating again, and there are several ways to do that. Number 1, work on a different part of this project. This is usually the first thing I do when I have writer's block. If you're having trouble with a certain chapter, you can just skip ahead to a chapter that you're actually excited to work on. Or if you're worried about the narrative in general, maybe go back to world building. What's your magic system? What are funeral ceremonies like in your world? Do they wear a wedding ring when they're married, or is there some other type of way that people show that they're mated? What are the common breakfast foods for people in this world? What do they do for fun? You can also get back to the basics and do some character development. What's your character's favorite color? What celebrity would they like to meet? If they had a themed party, what would the theme be? If they were an animal, what would they be? Or what flower or tree? Write them in random scenarios that could happen in your world, but that don't necessarily happen in the narrative you're telling. I love writing my characters running away from bandits, and specifically if they come across like a locked fence, how would they get over the fence? Would one character jump over the fence, or would one character punch through it? Or maybe one character is magic and blasts a hole in the fence. What would your character do if they found a lost kid in the supermarket? One of my favorite things to do is write your characters in an alternate universe. I've written my characters in like childhood and high school and college AUs. Is really fun, and it's kind of interesting. You can see what kind of archetypes your characters fill in different scenarios. It might make their personalities become a little more clear. If you like to draw, maybe you can draw your characters, draw things that happen in your world, draw different scenes, maps, different places. I think that would be fun. Number 2 is maybe you want to work on a different project. Take a break and write something else. Maybe you've had an idea in your head for a long time that you didn't write because you were focused on your book. You could write a short story, a novella, a poem, a script. Ooh. I usually tend to go for something shorter and less pressure, but if you want to go ahead and write another book, who am I to stop you? If you write a shorter story, you can get it done quicker and you can have a win under your belt. And sometimes you just need to say, yes, I did that. Number 3 under inspiration is to read a lot. If you're a writer, you should be reading a lot anyways, but especially if you're in writer's block. You should be reading books in and out of your genre. You should be reading modern books and also classic literature. Read movie scripts, read short stories, just read whatever you can get your hands on. Go to the library, look at the books, read them. While you're reading, you should be thinking about what you like and what you dislike about the books and why. Is there a certain thing about the writer's style that you like? Is there something that you don't like about them? Do you notice that they continue using the same phrases or words throughout the story? What character traits do you find the most compelling and why? How would you write the story differently if you were writing it? So when you're reading, you want to be analyzing the book as well, not just consuming it. Since I'm writing a book inspired by Irish mythology, I look at a lot of manuscripts and the mythological cycles, and that helps a lot with inspiration. Number 6 is to talk with another creative. If you can, you should join a writer's group or critique group in your area. I find that it's really helpful to talk about your issue with other writers, and maybe they can give you some insight. Usually the people there have a lot of experience and wisdom to offer. I have also been to some where people can be very condescending, but don't let that stop you. A lot of times people just want to talk. Listen to their critiques, see what they have to say. Maybe they have some insights to offer that you didn't think about before. But listen cautiously. Take what resonates with you, and if you don't like their critique, you don't have to use it. I know it can be scary to put your ideas out there like that, so maybe if you're not really ready for a full critique group, you could also maybe meet somebody online. I've met people through online writing and critique groups and forums and stuff like that, where we trade chapters and then each give our thoughts and ideas and critiques about the chapter. So most people I've met through doing that are very, very nice. You can talk about targeted feedback. What specifically are you looking for? Overall, it's good to have other creative people to spend your time with. You are who you surround yourself with. So if you spend time with other creative people, the odds are you're gonna wanna make something too. It's nice to be able to bounce ideas off of other creatives. Number 7 is to change the way that you write. If you usually write on your laptop, maybe get your notebook and go to the park and write some chapters by hand. Or maybe get a typewriter or some other kind of way that I can't think of right now. Think about how your writing changes between different mediums. Changing locations is also a great thing to do. You can go to the park, sit there, people watch a little bit, and then write backstories off of the people that you see. What would you do if the apocalypse happened exactly where you were? Do some prompts, get creative with it, do whatever you feel like. It's all up to you. The last chapter is arguably the most important. Chapter 3, discipline. You could spend weeks, months, or even years doing anything else but writing your story unless you have the discipline to actually sit down and write it. Writing a book is a long-term project that requires commitment, ambition, and hard work. It's not an easy task, otherwise everybody who says they want to write a book would do it. My only tip for this chapter is to remind yourself why you started this project in the first place and what it means to you. Pushing past writer's block, even if you aren't motivated or inspired, is part of the process and you will get through it. And so will I. Now, I gotta go write a book, and so do you. Okay, bye.